Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
You find yourself in a tavern.
Oh, we should have checked for traps.
I knew he forgot something.
I think I can reason with him.
You killed his father.
Can I have sex with it?
You could certainly try.
I'm gonna touch a sword.
Don't touch the sword!
The child is evil, right?
Obviously.
I could cast Fireball.
Always cast Fireball.
All right. Roll for it. Previously on Friday Night Quests.
If I, and maybe not alone, but I and someone to help, if I get inside, somewhere safe, and everyone else is in the mansion, we park Vincent somewhere where we think he's going to be safe out of the line of fire. Yep. Everyone gets into the mansion. Mm-hmm. I can gate you into the structure.
Well, how about I go with you? Can you make me invisible too?
Yeah.
He finished it. I mean, I never saw it finally constructed, but it is there for sure. That is the Ibn Anai. In Githzeri, it means the God Killer. When he captured most of us, the many Zarath he used to help construct pieces of it. I know he had mentioned there were other wizards, casters that he had captured from all over the plains to help influence its construction. But I'd never seen it fully built.
Well, we're in luck, Lorai. We're not gods.
Fair enough.
So let's go.
Yeah.
You land down in the hangar. Your feet touch the ground, Horace, and I assume, Sweeney, do you climb off his back or do you stay on?
I'll climb off his back.
So you climb off his back onto the floor, and you see there's hustle and bustle all around. They're Githyanki pulling their astral ships out via ropes. These ships are still floating. They're not resting on anything because their astral ships can kind of levitate regardless. Mm-hmm. You see them pulling them out via ropes. You see several of them reloading like weapons and spears and arrows, and several of them sending the ships up to the front. You catch eye of what would probably be like two higher in command Githyanki in beautiful ornate silver armor with a silver sword at their side, motioning and pointing around. What do you do?
Let's just get somewhere out of sight and drop invisibility on only us.
Right. Also, we want to head towards that central shaft to get up top, right?
Yeah.
To where Vex's ship went?
Should we try to go invisible as long as we can?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should try to get as deep as possible.
We have this for an hour.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're seeming, right?
Yes. So
even if somebody detected us, they'd be like, oh, that invisible person's supposed to be here.
Hopefully.
All right.
Now, we should specify, if either you or I attack or cast a spell, invisibility will end on that person.
Okay.
If I drop concentration, invisibility ends for you and me and Vincent, and I'd like to wait until Vincent is far away as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys head towards the central point, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So as you guys are walking in towards the hangars, you see there are two big doors that kind of lead their way further into the heart of the ship. I assume you're waiting for people to pass through the doors. You quickly slip by. I need you guys to make another stealth check with advantage. This is going to kind of count as if how you guys stealthily move around without bumping into people around corners.
Are there alarms blaring in this place?
There are not alarms blaring in this place. Sweeney, what'd you get?
23.
Horace?
17.
Okay. So as you're sliding through one of the doors, Horace, you kind of lightly tap your armor against the edge, and like one of the Githyanki look back. But then people are yelling in the background, and it continues on. The two of you continue to slip in. You're now inside kind of like the inner next area, where you see in front of you are long hallways with white marble floors and obsidian walls. As you're inside now, you noticed on the walls there is kind of this running line of, at first it looks like innate design to a building, but the closer you look at it, instead of just like framing on the edges of walls, you see that for Sweeney, you recognize that this looks kind of like a mixture of like magic writings that have been etched into the edges and rims of all of these walls. And Horace, I believe we've established previously, you know a bit about alchemy from, I believe it was your sister. Stacy. And you know that there's some alchemical symbols mixed in with this writing as well. And it is lining all of the walls and the edges of the ceiling inside this inner sanctum area. Ahead of you, you see several rooms breaching off to the left and the right. You see a couple Githyanki running out, quickly strapping on their gear and their weapons and their swords. One turns around and opens his arms, and you see a bow and arrow fly into his hands, and he catches them. He nods and turns and runs down the hall one way. You see funneling out from another room on the left, you see two what look like high-ranking Githyanki warriors kind of yelling at one another and pointing to maps and charts in front of them. One throws its hands in the air and runs out to the front. The other one walks back into the room and shuts a large mahogany door and goes back inside. But yeah, you see this hustle and bustle. What looks like, you can surmise, maybe some equipment areas on the right, potentially where some high-ranking officers are on the left-hand side, as you continue further, and there's a hall that still stretches farther and farther down, and you see that it goes for about another 100 to 200 feet until what you see is probably another opening closer to the shaft, the cylinder at the center of this thing.
Since we're invisible, we should either hold hands or I should hold on to like the strap-on your back or something so that I can make sure that I'm trailing behind you.
Okay.
So I'll just walk behind you with my hand on the fake dick.
Perfect.
Okay.
As I would prefer.
I'd like you guys to make a dexterity check, just a flat dexterity check, because you might need to do a little bit of quick movement in these hallways.
Ooh, I just rolled a natural one.
I got a 6.
All right, so you're making your way down these halls, and you see one kind of young Githyanki running out, like just with his helmet kind of backwards. He's like getting his stuff, he's just obviously in a hurry to make it to the front lines, and he bumps right into both of you, just kind of connecting with both of you immediately. And he tumbles to the ground and looks up. And he looks like surprised. He quickly stands up. His belt isn't fully latched to his body, and he's pulling at his silver sword. What do you guys do?
I'll smush up against one of the walls.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so you guys just like tighten up against one of the walls. He draws his sword and then starts swinging it in the air, like from where he bumped into you guys. And he looks around panicked, and he starts like yelling something into the equipment room, and a couple people walk out and look at him, and he starts swinging the sword in the air again, and the other two look at each other, confused, look back at him. The other one like calms him down, and you see him like speaking in Gith to them. They're yelling back and forth. You can't really understand what they're saying. He's pointing again, and one of them goes kind of like nods as if to say like all right, and waves, and you see a Githyanki come out. His head is shaved but has ornate symbols on it, and the one that's panicking is pointing into the hallway from where you guys were standing.
Can we slip into a side room?
While this is going on, you can certainly do that.
Stealth check?
Yes, it'll be a stealth check.
Advantage still?
Yep. Actually, no, because you would, but there's somebody actively freaking out about bumping into an invisible person.
21.
12.
Uh-oh.
So, you, Horace, you spot it looks like a bathroom, like a Githyanki is kind of coming out of a bathroom, affixing his pants and shirt, making his way down a hall, and you see the doors starting to close. You go in and quickly slide in. Sweeney, you go in to follow afterwards and bump up against the door.
So I have to like push it open, but the people see it reopen essentially.
And one of the other ones, you catch this, Sweeney, as the door closes. One of the ones that was calming the one down that had drawn the sword looks in your direction, and now they both have like steely eyes towards the bathroom of like, okay, maybe there is something going on here. And the door closes as you both enter in.
What's the bathroom look like?
The bathroom has many like marble stalls kind of closed off with like different like stone and metal hinges. So it looks like a more decorative and nice bathroom than like you'd expect, but it looks like it's used for military reasons. So it's not like there isn't like beautiful decoration and etchings around it, but you do still notice, like in every room you've seen so far, that lining around the inside of the walls.
How common, and this is probably a roll, but how common is spellcasting among Githyanki?
That would be a roll you need to make.
Arcana, history? What would that be?
History is probably going to be more relevant.
24.
It's
I have
good.
pretty good history stat. You want to ask me that?
I mean, 24 is pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Let me mansplain to you.
Do it.
about Githyanki. But
Do
yeah,
it.
you understand that Githyanki, it's not as common, but there's definitely casters within their society.
So, a Githyanki casting invisibility would not be out of the question.
It would not be.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Horace. I'm gonna start making out with him. And then
What?
the moment that the bathroom door opens and someone comes in, I want the invisibility to end.
As so they see you guys.
They
no
see
longer
the
being
invisibility dropping.
But seeming is still on.
Seeming's still on because it's not concentration.
Right.
That's just that we just look that way for 8 hours.
All right. I'll kiss back.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm not here. I mean, I'm here.
You always got to try. You always got to give it a go.
Okay. So you guys just start making out.
Uh-huh.
Do you explain your plan to Horace, or is it just one of
No,
those
I
like
probably
is it just one of those like quick kiss me?
It's
Like,
sort of that.
Yeah.
okay. So you grab him, you guys start making out.
Mm-hmm.
Horace, I assume, is going with it.
Yeah, he literally jumps up into my arms and wraps his legs around me.
Yeah, that's the really only way I can reach your face.
Adorable.
Maybe you just think he thinks he's about to die.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
true.
like, I gotta get one last
everybody
kiss in."
wants one.
Is this the first time you guys have kissed?
Yes,
Yes.
actually, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not
And
the
I'm
first
not
time
even
somebody's
there.
needed a piece of this right before they die. That
What?
this was their last wish.
You're flattered. You're like, perfect. So the door opens.
Or maybe you're a Black Widow.
Yeah.
So the door opens, and about 3 Githyanki step in.
Invisibility ends.
Ends, and they see the two of you making out, and to them, you both look like Githyanki making out in the bathroom.
We turn and look at them in sort of awkward, like, I want to look as awkward as possible, like,
I'm gonna need a group deception check here,
cool.
because you got to be playing this up.
Do we get advantage at all?
I would say so, because you've kind of set up this theater.
I got a 21.
22.
Okay, great. This works. You see them come in and go, and like one of them looks at the one that was swinging at you guys initially and pushes him against the wall, and he throws his hands up, and then they turn to you and they start speaking in
Yeah,
Gith.
I was worried about that. I'm also like a little bit behind Horace because I do still have a fire shield on me, and that may be kind of visible.
I'm gonna slam
Sweeney?
Sweeney up against the wall and make out even harder.
Okay. All right, so you do to
Yeah.
kind of cut them off,
Yeah.
and you guys just start making out even
Yeah.
harder against the wall.
Yeah.
And they all kind of look at each other and like kind of make the motion of like let's leave them to their time and exit the bathroom as if they're
Okay.
interrupting something very special.
Okay.
And they walk out and the door closes.
That worked.
Inspiration.
Yeah, well, wonderful. I mean, we always have to try it.
Yeah, I would say I don't do it much in this show, if not ever. Maybe for like 18 seasons. But
You
there's a
have
mechanic
it.
called inspiration.
Oh.
You guys have it.
Oh,
Yay.
we both got one.
Yay.
We both got one.
I'm gonna be
Way.
so pissed I wasn't here for this.
Cool.
Izzy somewhere. I wonder if they're making out.
I literally, no, I'm at the kitchen table. We're making pasta art, and I'm thinking, and I just paused, and I'm like, oh, if they're making out right now, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna go back. All right, good job
Yeah.
dyeing your
Hey,
noodles.
that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that worked. I mean, the plan.
All right.
It was good. To stop them from.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm into me too.
Don't tell your brother.
Well, we don't talk.
That's true.
All right. What do you guys
should,
do?
Should we just?
Let's gate him in here.
I mean, yeah, we can't. I was hoping to get a little further in.
Okay,
but,
let's
but
go.
Yeah, well, I feel
Oh,
like
we're not invisible
We're not
anymore.
invisible anymore. We're just Yankee. They're running around.
But we're still Githyanki.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there any benefit to them waiting out there?
Are they waiting outside for us?
Well, they're waiting in the mansion.
Oh.
I don't know how much further we can
The
get.
only benefit I can think is that if we can get further into the shaft, that'll be better because people won't see them hustling with us.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
All right, let's go. Let's
Two
see.
people are easier to sneak through.
Right. How long does it take you to gate?
It's either an action or a bonus action,
Oh, well then. perfect.
depending on which method I use.
Well, if any shit goes real wrong, immediately gate.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, we go back out into the hallway
Yeah.
and just try to, we give it like 2 minutes in case those people are like moving on,
Okay.
and then we head out there.
So you guys step out into the hallway. The Githyanki you see are no longer there. You see a bunch of Githyanki soldiering and running up to the front. You guys start making your way in the same direction down the tunnel as you're getting closer and closer to the center. You pass a couple rooms on the left. You see a couple high-ranking officials go in and out of a room where you see, like, on the wall for a glimpse of a moment, you see what looks like a map of some sort, but maybe with large circles and smaller circles, and the door shuts before you see any more. And you guys continue farther down inside the tunnel.
Were the large circles, the smaller circles inside the large circle?
There was a larger circle in the center. It looked like there were a bunch of other circles around it. Kind of, if you want to make like a quick history check
Okay.
for me, both of you, I can tell you.
Natural 20.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Horace?
24, but not a
Okay,
natural
well,
20.
not a natural 20, but I mean, like, both of you guys rolled well enough, especially a natural 20, know that you just saw what is the typical standard map of the plains of what you've seen before.
Yeah.
And as the door closes, you see, like, there are kind of, like, different... It's like a map against the wall, but you notice some, like, glimpses of, like, light across the different parts of the plains as it closed.
Okay.
All right.
Like light embedded in the map?
Like, it looked like there was, as if, like, obviously there's no, like, holograms or anything like
Sure.
that, but it looked like there was, like, points of light illuminating on different parts of the map of the planar system.
There's kind of markers.
As if, like,
Got it.
pinpoints and pins and things like that.
Got it. Okay. All right.
You think they're tracking the gods? The last of the gods?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Well, we try to muffle this because we don't speak the language that other people speak.
Right.
But yeah, we'll
Okay,
chat
let's keep
more,
going.
but I don't have a better theory.
Yeah.
So you guys continue down, and you're getting towards the inner, essentially, sanctum of this ship, of the bottom of the ship. And you go in, and the area opens up. You see a lot of soldiers lining up in lines and marching out to the starboard and the port. You guys continue making your way. What do you look like, by the way? What are you armed with?
We don't know. We look like people who belong and are allies on your side.
So this is your psychic ability. This is your level kind of 21, level 20 special ability, right?
Technically, this is Tyrone's level 21 psychic ability.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, because Tyrone casted this one.
Yeah, because I'm trying to burn through his spell slots sooner.
Clever.
So
So basically, you're walking up. So
rather than Sweeney's psychic silhouette, it's Tyrone's telepathic. Fuck, I'll come back to you with something.
Tyrone's
better.
telepathic fuck. But you guys are walking
Sort
in,
of.
and essentially you don't know what you look like, but you see a sergeant-like soldier come up to you and basically point at each of you, and then point and start speaking to you in Gith to the lineup where you see a bunch of soldiers all lined up with silver swords and silver armor. What do you do?
Can we insight check to see if he wants us to fall in line or inspect?
You can.
I don't think I made that roll. I mean, probably not. 12?
14. Oh, no, 16.
Horace, you think you need to go over there for a specific, like, a very important reason?
Okay.
You think you need to line up
Okay.
Sweeney to be a soldier and
Okay.
get in the fight.
I will grab you by the shoulder and pull you with me
Okay. I'll fall in line with
as
whatever you do.
we walk towards the dude.
So you walk up. There's about 20 Githyanki lined up, kind of in like formation. What do you do?
Get information.
Okay, so you stand in the back, essentially.
Yeah.
As you do, the one in the back kind of looks back at you and sees both of you and turns around and kind of salutes both of you, makes like a hand gesture, and looks nervous.
As he does that, I just want to start slowly making my way through the ranks and like start looking at everyone and like looking at their weapons, looking at their grips. I want to like go up to one of their... I want to see if like someone's like belt is a little loose or something, or
Sure.
like something.
Their
and just
pants
sort of,
completely fall down.
their pants fall down. Yeah, like it was someone like a buckle on their armor, like go in and like cinch it tight, say nothing, and just look disapproving, and just keep walking through the ranks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweak a nipple or two.
Okay. So you do you tweak a couple nipples. They are confused by this, but they don't say anything. You make your way through the ranks, and you see coming up now, walking out from the starboard, you see a figure has landed, almost as it's kind of like floated in. As this figure has landed, you see a couple of the sergeants who are also going around and inspecting neighboring platoons, look back and look at their a troop and motion and say something in Gith, and you see the troop like kind of stand at attention. In fact, make an insight check on a couple of these platoons, because this happens for a few of the troops next to you as well.
12 again.
I got a natural 20.
So, Horace, you can see that this Githyanki in the platoons nearby and in yours are keeping perfectly professionally still, but you see that the ones at the very front are sweating, and they're very, very scared, is what you're getting off of them. They look terrified by what's walking up now.
Okay.
And you see, now that you're, in the ranks, walking up, and very recognizable at this point by his silhouette, you see a Sladi in tight robes walking up with a big black scythe and small patches of red along its chalky white skin that is appearing outside of the robe on its hands, parts of its legs, and of course its face. This is Char that you saw previously. This is the one that threw what was a pellet, a silver globe of some sort, into Umbernacht before he died. He is walking up, and you see all of them as he gets closer. All of the platoons basically tighten up, and not a sergeant, but a Githyanki clad in like beautiful silver armor comes up to greet him and bows before him. And Char starts exchanging conversation with this Githyanki in Gith. You can't understand what they're talking about, but they seem to be speaking pretty seriously, and it looks as if from the gestures, and you rolled a well enough insight, that this commander, this powerful Gith commander, is like being berated about something, and looks very, very nervous by whatever Char is discussing with him.
I want to try something that I have not tried with a spell that I have cast a couple of times, but I have not tried this. I'm going to point to Char. I wave my hand. I say, Dissimulato. I cast Seeming. Since he is unwilling, he needs to make a charisma saving throw. The DC is 19.
Okay. I rolled a 19.
On the dot?
Yeah, I rolled a 19 on the die, but he has a -1, so he fails.
Awesome.
I didn't think he would pass unless I rolled a natural 20. I rolled the actual. He's not very charming, you guys.
Yeah, I didn't.
He looks like a frogman monster.
I'm going to cast Seeming on him to make him drop form and become a doppelganger.
Oh, and look like a doppelganger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you get to choose.
I can choose what he looks like. I'm not spending my psychic silhouette on this
Okay.
because I only need to make him look like a doppelganger.
Does he know if a spell's been cast on him with Seeming, or how does that work?
I mean,
If it doesn't say they do know, then
No.
he doesn't know.
it doesn't say that.
Okay.
It disguises physical appearance as well as clothing, armor, weapons, and equipment. You can make them seem shorter or taller, appear thin, fat, or in between. Can't change their body types. It's got to be the same arrangement of limbs.
And what's the range? Is it touch?
30 feet.
Okay. And he doesn't know?
I mean, he'll certainly notice that he doesn't look.
Well, of course.
Right.
But I mean, like, he doesn't know that a spell's been cast
No,
on him.
he does not. He does not know, like in the way that, like with Charm Person or whatever.
Do you
like-
make his scythe disappear, or he's still holding that scythe?
I think it's still going to be the scythe because I feel like the doppelganger wouldn't be able to mimic that.
Okay.
I think it's got to be just his form itself changes.
Okay. And how are you making this look? Like he just reverts to a doppelganger?
Yeah.
As this happens, you see the Githyanki commander like step back and point at him, and Char looks down at his hands and kind of looks at the back and front and sees that he looks different, right? He's got like I believe it's like a grayish skin.
They look
tone.
like gray aliens, basically. Like tall ones.
And he looks down and turns and screeches, and you see like a psychic wave rip out in front of the commander and send him flying. And as this happens, the commander hits the obsidian stone. All of the Githyanki soldiers, like the air leaves their lungs, just like, and the commander like steps up and points and screams in Gith, and you see all of the Githyanki soldiers around you draw their silver swords and charge at what is now a doppelganger
Nice.
Char.
Let's get going.
What do you guys do?
Let's leave.
Okay, so
Shall we leave immediately? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys just start sprinting for the
Yes.
central column.
Yes.
As this happens and they start charging in, one of the Githyanki you see on the edge run up and grab a long piece of wood with a bell on the end and starts spinning it in the air and starts ringing essentially an alarm. And you see Githyanki just pouring in from around the edges. As you guys are running towards essentially, you're about 60 feet from the entrance to this large cylinder.
Yeah.
And you see dropping down from the cylinder, taking up almost the entirety of the space, is a red adult dragon drop and snarl, and you see a Githyanki pull the top edge, and the who's riding it, and the red dragon just skirts around the corner towards where this doppelganger is.
We give them a wide berth. We let
Yes.
them pass.
Oh, yeah.
As this is happening, you quickly glimpse back, and you see a scythe just cut through waves of Githyanki, and you see him scraping his scythe blade against the ground, and you see necrotic black smoke envelop the entire area, and you can't see what's happening inside anymore. But yeah, you guys run inside the cylinder. You run in, and you look up. You see along the outcroppings of this massive, massive cylinder. It is hollow on the inside, leading upwards, straight up. And probably 1,000 feet up, you can start to see at the very, very top, it looks like there's a ceiling leading into another area, and there's a beautiful mosaic. You can barely kind of make out what it looks like, but you can see there's some type of painting, Sistine Chapel style, at the very top. Massive painting leading up to the top of this cylinder. But along the outcroppings of the walls are dozens of dragons, all tied and tethered as if waiting to be taken out and ridden into combat.
Okay, well, we still have seeming on us, so...
Yeah, we'll just make our way up towards the mosaic.
Yeah.
I would like to pull my friends in pretty soon.
Is there like a spiral staircase that goes up to it?
There is, that winds around. It stops at each of the outcroppings to
Got it.
kind of board the dragons.
Let's move with urgency, but
Yes.
not haste.
Right.
We move with importance.
Right.
We move with purpose.
We've got an important meeting. There's not a fire.
Yeah.
We've got an appointment.
Marching up the stairs.
Marching up the stairs. As you're marching up, you see a few Githyanki riders kind of testing a few dragons, feeding them, hopping on the backs and flying them down. So you're, with purpose, kind of stepping up the stairs. You see a few Githyanki, like, getting ready. You also see from the very top, you see right up where the mosaic is, you see a singular figure standing and looking down, and then suddenly dropping with great speed, shooting straight down as if doing like a pencil dive, and it flies right past you, and you catch for a glimpse, you see the chalky white skin and green patches of one of the Sladi in robes that you saw before, shooting down to the bottom and hitting the floor, an impact, and then shooting out towards where you left with Char.
How far away are they now?
Where they drop down?
Yeah.
From where you've climbed up, it's about 1,000-foot tower, so you guys have probably only gone about 80 feet at this point.
Okay. We'll let them scrap it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you continue with purpose up the spiraling staircase. As you're going up, you still continue to see that strange etching throughout the interior of this ship, that mix of magic and alchemy. But what you also start to notice is mosaics and tapestries lining the walls as you're going up. You can see now that if the bottom platform area was more of a militarized zone where there were Githyanki in their barracks and strategy rooms and things like that, you can see that this column area kind of takes on a different persona. As you look at the tapestries as you go up, you see they're more ornate and beautiful, and in each one, you see an image of Vecht. And Vecht is rallying in one tapestry, rallying Githyanki. You see in other ones, he is meditating, floating above the ground among Githzeri, and Githzeri masters are bowing to him. In other ones, you see a massive tapestry, one of the biggest ones now that you guys are doing this for quite a while without interruption. You pass a few more dragons on your way, and when you get to about a halfway point, there is a massive tapestry of Vecht holding his hand up high, light emanating from his hand, and in front of him, it looks like with this light, he is pushing back a great and powerful, unshaped beast with tendrils and hundreds of eyes peering down at him. And it looks like Vecht is kind of holding it back, fighting it, as it were, like a great enemy. And you continue up higher and higher and higher, and you're almost at the top of the cylinder. At the very top here, you see one last red adult dragon kind of peer and follow its eyes to each of you. And as you pass it, it looks at you on longer and then looks back down. As you're getting up here towards the top, you see there is another well-armored, it looks like more decorated, like sergeant here at one of the higher steps of the stairs, standing what looks like guard before the very tops, reaching up to this mosaic at the top, which looks like the beginning of the highest level. What do you do?
We're just gonna march past, as if we belong.
Yeah.
And let's see how far
Act
we can
like-
get on
act
that.
like you belong.
Well, as you go to pass him, he puts his hand on your armor and stops you and starts speaking in Gith. His tone looks very firm and concerned.
I'm gonna hold my throat like I can't talk, and like I'll point down there like I'm injured.
And he looks at you and points down as in a gesture to say, go back down.
Are we in view of anything, like the dragons?
The last adult red dragon is now looking down at all of the scuffle that's happening below. You guys have made quite a mess down there.
But would it be able to see us if we did some stuff?
It's not looking at you right now.
Okay. But
If there was, he's close enough that if there was like screaming and yelling and explosions,
Sure.
he'd probably look back up at it.
Sure.
But he can't see anything right now.
and he's pointing down for us to go back down. Can we see the passageway like behind him?
Yeah, you can see that he's basically standing at the bottom of a staircase, and the staircase leads up left and right, both going up to what looks like the beginning of the top floor or the top of this structure.
Okay. I'm going to motion like oh sorry with my and still holding my throat, kind of going like sorry, wrong staircase, and then I'll grab you and start walking back down.
Yeah, I'll nod.
And
Let's head into a pretty nearby empty dragon alcove.
okay.
Okay, so you step into one of the alcoves where a dragon has taken off from.
Can you invisible us again?
Yes, and actually that's smarter than what I was going to do. So yeah, I'll do that.
And then just get on and we'll fly past him.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Hop on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So are you waiting to be out of view of him?
Yeah.
We
essentially?
duck into
Yeah.
an area that's not visible.
And he looks like he's following your eyes, like he's following you guys down as you walk past. And then when you're out of sight, you turn invisible and fly. He doesn't notice you. Make a stealth check. If you guys roll like a natural one,
With advantage, right?
Yep.
That's cocked.
No natchies.
What do you got, Horace?
I got a 19.
And Sweeney?
With advantage, it's a 25.
Okay. You guys pass without him seeing anything.
Okay.
And you make your way. Do you just fly straight up to the
Straight
top
up,
level?
Yeah, straight up past him up to the top level.
Okay. You fly up to the top level and land. Here you can see, again, above you, and because of the width of this cylinder, this mosaic is huge. But you can see up close now, it's Vect beckoning downward with his essentially hand reaching out. And you see around him, it looks like flying up towards him, are these golden, chalky white, slotty beasts, looking like as if they were angels, and him beckoning them upwards. So you land at the top. Do you do anything else?
I think it may be time to bring our friends in.
Yeah. Can we find a private area?
Sure. So you guys land at the top, and you're looking around, and before when you were going up the cylinder, and as you were looking at the tapestries, like the dragons were well taken care of, but there was kind of this scent of battle in the bottom floor. Going up the cylinder, there was like a sweeter smell, a sweeter scent. Now that you've landed at the top here, you've got this beautiful ornate mosaic with like this golden trim around it. But now that you're standing in the room and can actually see it at floor level, the rest of the walls aren't as impressive. They aren't as ornate. And that blossom, that sweet smell, is replaced with the smell of chemicals. It kind of stings your nostrils. In front of you, to your left, you see a hallway. Again, this floor is this white marble, black obsidian walls, leading down a corridor to your left. It's the only exit out of this room. There are sconces on the wall, simple, geometrical sconces with flames protruding from each of them. But there is this creeping chemical smell up here.
Yeah, let's definitely bring our friends in for this. I will I will use the Tome of the Stilled Tongue. I use my bonus action, Tome of the Stilled Tongue, to cast Gate and open a gate into the mansion.
Okay. You cast gate, opens in the mansion, and Izzy and Larai and Ine and MacLeod jump through.
Yeah, this ends our invisibility, because it's a concentration
Right.
spell as well.
Okay.
They come through, close the gates. I only have one more of those, but Izzy can hopefully planches this as well. We don't speak the language, so let's not do any talking unless someone speaks to us in common. Do you two, Larai and Ine, do either of you know the language of the Githyanki?
Yes, you mean the language of Gith?
Okay, so it's the
Yes.
same. It's the same
Githyanki and
one.
Githzeriel speak the same language.
Is there any slang you need to? No, sorry. This question is going to lead us down a rabbit hole of puns and jokes and
Sure.
things. So, let's just assume that you two will have to do the talking if anything comes up.
That's fine.
Play it by ear, though. We don't know what they'll see us as. Take your cues from them. Don't offer information if they don't offer it first.
What does that mean exactly?
I mean, psychically, we look like their allies. We don't know what that means. We could be generals or sergeants or privates. We don't know.
Larai kind of walks up and like waves his hand over you and then waves his hand over himself. This is quite impressive. Is this something you're doing?
Technically, Tyrone raises his hand. Technically, it's something I'm doing. But yeah.
This is quite impressive. I've never seen anything like this.
And it's actually already done. I'm not maintaining it. It's just that way in case. And Sweeney and Tyrone just sort of silently nod. It's not a concentration spell.
Interesting. All right. Okay, well, where do we go next?
Down the hall.
So you guys follow down the hall to the left, and you're entering these corridors, and that chemical smell has only become stronger. And you start to see a few outcroppings on your left and on your right. And again, sconces leading down further and further down this winding hall.
And those are open flame, right?
They are open flame.
So it's not a flammable chemical.
Doesn't appear to be.
I mean, it would probably...
Yeah, otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know.
Yeah, light the air on
It's
fire.
not the gas from an oven or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Is it hard to breathe at all?
It's not hard to breathe. It just stings a little bit.
Okay.
It's caustic. It smells.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything we would roll to sort of determine any more about it, or did we sort of learn what we're gonna?
You can. Horace, you can roll with advantage
Oh.
for perception.
Okay.
Because I know...
Let's do history for this because
History?
like you'd have to have encountered this before.
Okay.
10.
19.
Oh wait, no, that's a different character. 15.
Tyrone got a 12.
Okay. So Izzy, you've recognized this a little bit before, but Horace definitely. This smells like alchemical materials and components, mixing things and burning materials, things to make alchemical weapons or experiments. Also, you smell, Horace, specifically what smells like cleaning fluid. Like sometimes when people like are cleaning up an area in the Kemp Estates that's been pretty thoroughly messed up, maybe from a hardcore party, they might use some pretty strong chemicals mixed from a local alchemist to clean up the area. And you definitely smell that pretty strongly coming out of one of the rooms on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So you continue to walk down. Are you guys stealthing at all, or are you just kind of casually walking down the halls?
If anything, I think it's deception, as we're just trying to make it look like we belong.
Okay. So you guys can each roll a deception check for me.
Do we get advantage?
No.
Okay.
I can't tell you why.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Well, Tyrone got an 18. Sweeney got a natural 1.
I got an 11.
Okay.
We're real believable as people that we don't know that we're pretending to be.
Yep.
Bad.
So
Bad.
you're walking, and by the way, your spell doesn't change how you look from.
Well, seeming ordinarily does. It's an illusion spell, but this is just sort of an extra level of it that makes it seem like...
But does it continue to change how you look?
It's like psychic paper is sort of how we discussed it.
But what I mean is, like, let's use an example here. Let's say if you're walking through different layers of a bank, right? In the front of a bank, you might have like a teller,
Yeah.
somebody who works the front, who you'd expect to be in the front.
Okay.
If you go in the back room of the bank, you might only expect like an assistant manager to be back there.
Yeah.
Then if you go into like the deep vault of the bank, there's like the general manager, like the top person is only allowed in that back area. What I'm asking is, does your spell change how you look based on the different places that you're in?
It changes based on the person. Based on the person's expectations.
So every person is expecting that you belong,
Yeah.
is what you're saying, that
Yeah.
sees you. Okay. So you continue walking down the hall, and On the right-hand side, you see a room you pass by, and you see several stone obsidian, look like operating tables on the right-hand side. And you see on each of these tables, it looks like metal bands have been drilled into and strapped to each of them. And you see on the floor around them are burnt and scorch marks and acidic burns as well. And atop some of the operating tables, you see the skeletal remains of Sladi. And you see on some of their bones, you see metal plates with alchemical etchings fused to their bones. And where they've touched their bones, you see the bones have actually bent and contorted and expanded as if to reject these metallic plates. And you see lining the walls, you see different silver vials with tubes feeding down to these operating tables. And you see lining the walls in different containers are several silver spheres. A silver sphere you might have seen before that Char had pulled out of his pocket, and vials lining the walls. You continue down further, and on the left-hand side, you see another room. A room with a large silver cage, much like a bird cage. And along the floor, you see blue, dried blood and what look like feathers along the bottom. And you see on the right-hand side of the room a chalkboard that takes up the entirety of like a 50-foot-long wall and 50 feet high. And you see alchemical calculations etched into it all along, wiped away, rewritten, overwritten, crossed off. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, you see a clawed print slammed against the chalk wall. And it looks like it's been cracked by this hit. And this crack has rippled into some of the calculations.
They didn't find what they wanted from you, did they, MacLeod?
And when you say that, you look back, and MacLeod is far standing back from where he was. You see him looking at the floor and the tile and sniffing the air, and he looks paralyzed in fear.
There's no doors on this, is there?
There's no doors. There's no, all these are open archways.
All right. I'm going to move past him back to the other room. I'm going to examine the silver sphere, the one that's similar to what we saw on Bernox.
Yeah, the weapons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sort of examine, is the only way that it's triggered by swallowing?
You can investigate it.
24.
24, it looks like these spheres are triggered either by their case being crushed, or it looks like on the side of the sphere you can see a small switch that will unlock the inner component.
How big are they? Are they the size of like a grenade, or are they larger? Yeah. I will take one of those, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants them?
I'll take one.
All right.
Yeah.
How many are there?
What am I doing with it?
There are tons lining the walls here.
They're weapons. We can use them.
If you counted them all up, there might be 50 in this room.
Everyone take 3.
Okay. They're just weapons?
What are they called? Or what will we call them? Chaos orbs, I guess? Chaos orbs.
Okay. I mean, I'm never going to say no to a chaos orb.
I didn't think you would.
Ever. Can I swallow this?
Please don't.
Oh, okay. One of these days, though.
Last one who swallowed this was Umbernox.
Gonna get. Oh. I thought this looks familiar.
Yeah. Be careful when throwing them.
What? I mean, how?
I mean, don't let them.
Should I not?
Don't let them crack when they're in your hand.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Okay.
I put mine in my bag of holding.
I don't have a pocket.
Yeah,
fantasy
yeah,
world.
You laugh.
I have a pouch.
Still don't have pockets. I have a backpack, or do I have a fanny pack?
Yeah, I think you have a fanny pack.
Is there anything in the room that's like a bandolier or carrying case for these?
There's pouches and bags, but there isn't like a specific device that holds them.
Okay. I'll grab one of the pouches and wrap it up and put it on my belt.
Put it in? Okay.
Yeah.
Further down on the right-hand side, you hear kind of a screeching sound, a gnashing and screaming as you get closer, and growling, a deep guttural growl. And then suddenly that subsides. And stepping out into the corridor, wiping its hands caked in blood, you see a Sladi figure in robes with blue on its chalky white skin and a metal plate covering its eyes. And it stands out and looks at all of you and kind of cocks its head to the right as if to be, What are you doing here?
Is this the same one, can I tell, that I asked to take us to its leader?
Correct. This is the same one. It comes up to each of you and starts speaking inside your minds.
Ooh.
And you hear, "What are you doing here?"
I attack it
Okay.
immediately.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right. Roll for initiative.
Yeah, I'm gonna loot the body.
So, how much experience do we get?
Well, now we have a skeleton army, so that's pretty neat.